G'day, Michael here. I'm trying out a new material called ASA, and the reason why I've chosen it is because it's supposed to be high UV resistance. Generally it seems to be behaving like ABS, but what is interesting, I'm using crosslink PVA on the glass here and essentially set it up for, ABS settings, and as you can see it has peeled away. Now here's a good example of where AV56 saves the day. I'll apply that and I'll come back to that. Okay, I've just put some AV56 slurry, the 50% slurry, on this paper toweling. I'm just going to dab it down. The platen is hot at about the 100-degree mark. You can see the steam pouring off. Maybe you can't. My aim is to just make a bit of a sticky surface. Normally, if I use AV56 for a print, I'd actually put it on the glass in the first place. But it's quite compatible with the PVA. It doesn't seem to have any problems at all. In fact, you can even mix the two together if you wanted to play with that. I'm not going to bother. Anyhow, that's basically now got the AV56 on the surface. So let's see how we go now. I'll be cutting the video as this goes. I'm expecting it to... There we go, it's homing. The AV56 is, not a cure for everything, but sort of the 100-degree or less mark, it's quite okay as a bonding material. But the difference is it's very sticky. So let's just see how this behaves. I'll just have to pick up those loose bits there. I think I'll let the rest of it stay. So far I've found the ASA to be, like, it goes through the tip okay and so forth, very much like ABS. I am printing this at pretty high speed. I think I'm shoving it through at about 16 cubic millimeters a second through that tip. That part is about 200 millimeters square. And it's a 0.8 millimeter tip. And what the AV56 does is has that initial tack. So the moment it just sort of touches the, the extrusion sticks. It feels like, I guess, sticky tape. That's probably a good comparison. It's what's called a water-based contact adhesive, and so it makes the surface rather like sticky tape, except it bites better than the normal contact adhesive that you have on sticky tape. Completely different material. Well, as you can see, that's sticking down and staying down. Forgive the shaking, I'm just holding this free hand. I've got the design set up so it will not cross perimeters. That's what the funny little dance was. There's another little dance that it did. I'll find if it doesn't cross the perimeters with these large tips, you tend to get a lot of dribbling, especially if you're trying to get performance out of them, where you've got a fair bit of back pressure. You can see there's a little bit of a dag at the end of each print. And so by not crossing the perimeters, you don't have to worry too much about grips. Now what's interesting too, I might cover that on this video. This, you can hear the harmonics of the various motions of the XY motors. But what happened is, as you get a certain pulse rate or a certain buzz rate, whatever you want to call it, the way the frame is on the TiVo, it's a very strong frame, but of course, like any metal structure, any sort of open frame will have a ring frequency, and I was having dreadful trouble with the ring frequency on the machine. And so what I found that I had to do is brace the frame to the cabinet. And as soon as I did that, these blocks here, fixing everything that matters, as soon as I did that, that got rid of that ring frequency. So as a result, the any of those buzzers and things don't affect the frame, don't produce that sort of a vibration. It basically made the machine run smoothly. Now I've seen a lot of people put vibration mounts on the stepper motors, but I would caution against that. When you add a damper to the stepper motors, you're actually adding an area of movement or sloppiness. You're adding travel, adding play to try and counter the effects of vibration. By firming up the frame, bracing it like I have to the cabinet so it cannot ring and form up a vibration, you eliminate the effects of vibration by physically removing movement. So to my mind, well, it's not really an option, it's not a matter of opinion. Reducing vibration by getting rid of movement is a lot better than reducing vibration by adding movement. So if you're tempted to add vibration mounts to your stepper motors, think about it a little bit like this. The stepper motors are doing all the measuring and placing. If you add movement to that, you're reducing the precision of the unit. If you stiffen up the frame, you are adding precision. You're gaining an advantage by stiffening the frame. And as you can hear, there is, even with the funny harmonics and things from the XY axes interacting on, say, the circular motion, there is no ring in the frame that carries on. Think of a tuning fork. You jab a tuning fork and it rings. Now, if the stepper motor was running at a speed that would make a tuning fork ring, the vibration would get worse and worse. It's the same kind of effect that, I don't know, a train going past makes the windows rattle kind of thing. So think about ring frequency on a frame like this. Although it's very strong, anything has a ring frequency. And so doing what you can to mitigate that ringing will actually help that vibration problem you may be having. Yeah. To me, a vibration mount on the stepper motor is rather like putting a rubber band on the end of a tape measure and then try to expect it to measure accurately. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, so that's that for me. Anyhow, the ASA seems to be printing quite well, and it's sticking, which is the main thing. It is sticking thanks to the AV56. So I guess in this video I've crammed in 2 points. One, the AV56 and its tackiness, and how it saves otherwise print jobs that will not stick. And also the ring frequency and vibration, overcoming vibration. It is important to firm up your frame. Don't be tempted to put dampers. I would see dampers as an absolute last resort if you can't figure out some other way. Okay, well I guess that's enough for my preaching section here. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment, suggest a video that you might want to see. Well, that's it for me. Bye for now.